Yeah, man. So basically, the white man telling us, Europeans telling us that we were savages, and and our people praised all kind of gods and animals. When just like I was saying, luckily we still talk like that today. So and so dog meat, so and so dog shot, you know, um, you know. Um, you eat like a pig, or so and so eat like a cow. You know what I'm saying? Because back in the day we understood that everything had its natural divinity, just like us. Just like us with our Christ nature, everything has its natural divinity that you can learn from. The ant. The ant has a architectural, natural divinity and ability. You know what I'm saying? So if I was to put a statue of an ant outside of my house, why would you hate on that? Why would only one's ignorance, until until you fill them in on what this on what that ant statue stands for. You know what I'm saying? But until you know being that they're ignorant of what that may mean, they could totally misinterpret this, just as the symbols back home in ancient Kemet. You know what I'm saying? So you know things like that are very, 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 very key to understand. Just perversion, total perversion of symbols. You know what I'm saying? And using ancient symbols for subversive purposes. You know what I'm saying? All those things are very important to understand. And another thing that I believe this Bible study does for sure is, it really teaches us, when you read between the lines, this Bible study really shows us how, you know, um, people might can read. You know what I'm saying? Like it's one thing to be able to read, but it really shows us that even even when we know how to read so good, and all these things, we still look over the things that we don't like, or that we're not fond of, stuff like that. We have this, we act like we have a choice with the truth. You know what I'm saying? When you really don't at all. And you know, that's a psychology that we have ultimately gotten from the Holy Bible, and looking past so many scriptures, just as I'm pointing out, and that really shows that also it's not just about what we're reading, but it's also about the ultimate quality of what you're intaking, of what you're taking in, and how will this ultimately manifest for you. You know what I'm saying? You know, um, so I think those were very key in between the line. Analytics that we all should, understand. All should understand. And, just for as I said earlier, for you know our European brothers and sisters to understand, that to be deprived of true African history, and the world's African roots, the world including you as well, the world including all of us, just to be deprived of true African history is to be deprived of education, is to be deprived of true education. You know what I'm saying? For us to be deprived of any history, period, from African history all the way to, you know, all the way to, our grandfathers, and, us, our own lives, because we're a part of history as well. Something that we don't realize. Every one of us are a part of history. It's just all about the changes we make. Because with change in self, comes change in the world. And that's a concept of mine. Also with the one strike theory. If you have a room full of candles, it shouldn't take but one candle You know what I'm saying? Light the whole room, you know, and that's the power of one. You know what I'm saying? And you know, and that's why I say, you know, if we all, you know, we all understood that just changing self is changing the world. You know, so many people worry about changing the world, but you know, changing self is just as powerful as changing the world, because if we all focused on changing the world, or more people focused on changing the world would instantly change. You know what I'm saying? Just thought alone, you know, just the true raw thought alone. You know? So those things are very key. You know, very key to understand. Very key to understand. You know, and you know, just as I was saying earlier, you know, Europeans telling us that, you know, our people are savages, and we came from a land where, where they praise all kind of gods, and we, you know, and for them to still continue to show us this, you know, this impoverished, you know, this whole impoverished image of Africa even now. You know what I'm saying? That is a whole form of grand mind control. You know what I'm saying? And it's to keep this, is to keep this whole Christ complex over the European, as if he's been our savior, and we should be ever thankful to him for, you know, rescuing us from hell, so to speak, of our own mother Africa. You know what I'm saying? So you know, that's when actually it's the entirely backwards, in the other way around. You know what I'm saying? You know, it's entirely backwards in the other way around. You know, for them to suggest such, as if they saved us. For taking us from Africa because we were so-called savages. You know, it's totally the other way. It's totally the other way around. We saved them because they're savages. You know, because they are ultimately savages. You know, the Europeans are ultimately savages. And truly were. You know, and through their encounter with us, we have given them a true, you know, understanding of, you know, humanness, you know, and love, and you know, all of that, you know, of godliness, you know, a true encounter with godliness, you know, is what it has been for Europeans, you know. And you know, that's why I say, you know, it's entirely backwards in the other way around from the way we have been sold. You know, we have been sold this whole little concept. You know, this whole little concept of things. You know, and you know, important. Another thing, you know, this is ultimately made. You know, religion. You know, religion has ultimately overshadowed world history, you know, true history, black history, you know, and that's because, and I say that because religion has divided up all these things. Religion has sure enough killed black history to where, you know, we really don't even give certain brothers, you know, brothers and sisters the credit because, oh yeah, you know, they were Muslim or they were Christian. You know, like religion has completely split, you know, black accomplishment, you know, black greatness in half. You know what I'm saying? And you know, so it's important to understand that regardless of religion, regardless of one's religion, when one is bringing, you know, information from the spirit, that must be understood. You know, regardless of religion, you know, it's still world history. You know what I'm saying? So to continue on with the BS, you know, and this is just real, but it's right there, you know what I'm saying? Matthew 15:14, Matthew chapter 15, verse 14. The blind leading the blind will end up in the ditch. You know what I'm saying? The blind leading the blind will end up in the ditch. You know, and just as I say, you know, the English language. The English language is very telling in itself, you know, and that's why they call it the pulpit, you know, to pull you in the pit. You know what I'm saying? You know, you have to ask yourself a question like, you know, why do your feet smell and your nose run? And why can you park on the driveway and drive on a parkway? You know, why can a package on the ship be called cargo? And, you know, a package on the car can be called a shipment. You know what I'm saying? Just the whole backwardness, and the whole implanted voodoo psychology, man. You know what I'm saying? In the English language, all the way from the Bible to the courtroom, is what I'm saying, man. It's a word game, you know. And they have you scared, by the word voodoo. The word voodoo just means spiritual Adam. It comes from a French word meaning spiritual Adam. You can't see a spirit, you can't see an Adam. You know what I'm saying? It's the total work of the unseen, which is God ultimately. As I keep trying to tell you, and you know, another thing, I don't want you to believe nothing. You know what I'm saying? It's time to wake up, and it's time to know. It's time to know. I don't even want you to believe me. Everything that I'm telling you here, you can take it and do your research, man. I'm just like I told you earlier. I'm really nobody. I'm just the vessel that all this information is pouring out of. You understand? So there you have it. Matthew 15. Verse 14. Matthew chapter 15, verse 14. The blind leading the blind will end up in the ditch. Very interesting. Ephesians 4, one church in many parts. That's just interesting. First thing it says is a prisoner of the Lord. Something about being a prisoner of the Lord. You think the Lord will make you a prisoner? You know what I'm saying? Prisoner of Christ. Prisoner of Christ for the Gentiles. In Ephesians 3. It talks about being a prisoner for Christ. Crazy. Crazy. Now if you read, that's just, I feel like I'm gonna have to just start on a whole nother joint, a whole nother one for this, because, when you turn to Leviticus, when we get to Leviticus, you are going to see some of the sickest stuff ever. And God didn't tell nobody to do no mess like that. This is what you call making God a scapegoat. You know what I'm saying? God was the first Barack Obama. You know what I'm saying? They made God a straight up scapegoat. You know what I'm saying? A straight up scapegoat with this Bible, man. In Leviticus, and through the rest of this, and through the rest of the BS, through the rest of the BS, we will see, so much of American culture, and we will see why, so much continuous crime just passes right by us in our face, and, yeah, so we definitely gonna save that one for the next video. You dig? Peace.